Hello everyone, welcome on in. I'm Velvet. Thanks for joining me today in The Sims 4, where we are building a very cute library with a bit of a difference because it's for fairies. Woo! We've been spending a lot of time in Inner Screen of late, but this is doing something a little different. I've been building houses and I've kind of shifted on to doing maybe a few community lots here and there. So one of the community lot styles that we have in The Sims 4 is a library. Very important. You got to go there, do your learning, do a bit of studying, maybe a bit of socializing as well. Maybe it could even be like a little cute little date where you go and maybe read books together. I don't know. Is that a date? It sounds great to me. I'm a big reader, so I'm like, ooh, we can just sit there and read together. That sounds lovely. I mean, you're not getting to know each other at all, but you're hanging out in the same space. Maybe you chitty chat about the books that you're reading. I don't know. But yes, this is on. Oh no, what lot did I build this on? I feel like I built this on the Gringles lot. Up in the, I think it's the Spruce Dairy. Yeah, it's the Spruce Dairy neighborhood. I think. Pretty sure that's the case of what I did because you've got the flower store on behind there, and on the other side you've got the apothecary stall. So yes, this is on the Gringles lot. So a 30 by, I'm gonna say 30 lot. I think it's either 30 by 30 or 30 by 20. Let me have a wee look at my notes. Yes, 30 by 30 lot, and it's on the Gringles lot for sure. So I wanted to, I don't know, I think what I'm doing, because I'm at the moment, I just seem to be going from lot to lot in Inner Screen, and I'm kind of like building on each of the different lots, and I'm trying to explore the different colors that came with the Enchanted by Nature pack. And this, by the way, is only the Enchanted by Nature pack and base game, so only the 2 packs for this one. I did contemplate doing the Book Nook kit as well, but the Book Nook kit is quite modern, and the look I was going for was more whimsical, so it didn't really work. So I just stuck with the 2 packs. So it should be, if you've got the Enchanted by Nature pack, very accessible up on the gallery, VelvettB up there. So if you need yourselves a little library, then there you go. There is one out there that I made. And I covered it in plants, and I've used the red roofing because I was just playing around, as I said, with some of the different colors in the game. I really did struggle with, with placing that item, but with the colors on the exterior. Like, they went through quite a few different iterations, and you'll notice that as we go through the build that it keeps changing color on the outside. Not the beige sort of barky color, that sort of stays, but the other colors through the middle, like the contrast color through the middle, yeah, that changed a few times over. But that's fine. Sometimes it builds are like that where, you just can't quite settle on the colors, like you're just not feeling, it's just not quite vibing, and you're just not quite finding the colors that you want. So I did a little bit of terrain manipulation here. I just made like a little hill down the back. The idea behind that is that I wanted to have like a little slope going down from the back to the front, and like a little path going through like a garden and going down. So you could kind of walk between the back and the front areas, and yeah, there's just like a cute little path going down. You can sort of see me drawing the outline of that there. And yeah, I felt like a slope would work with that. It's always a challenge. I don't use the tool mod, so it's always a challenge when you are using slopes to get plants and items that will sit on those slopes, because in general, I mean, even with the move objects cheat on, they will quite often float, the plants. So there's only sort of certain plants that will really work in that situation where you can get them sitting on the ground even on a slope. I have found that there are a few within the, you know how there's roof plants now with base game, as well as a couple from Enchanted by Nature. Yeah, those roof plants are actually quite good on slopes. So if you are looking for a plant that is good on a slope and you don't use the tool mod where you can kind of just adjust it as you go, then yeah, those plants that are good for roofs are actually also quite good for slopes on the ground, which is very useful. But there is only a limited amount of them, so you kind of got to pick and choose what you use. I did also use the debug fencing in this instance. The reason that I did that was I wanted to kind of match. There's like a little section right beside it, and you'll see it on the right hand side from time to time, and it's like this flat section of landscaping, which we can't actually do in the game. Jealous much. And is sitting beside the debug fencing. So I wanted to kind of replicate that to a degree as well. Obviously, I can't get like the flat fencing with the debug. Oh, maybe I could with tool. I don't know, but I don't use it. I sometimes I have tool sitting in my game, but I haven't used it enough that I feel super confident with using it. But I need to play around with it a little bit more because I feel like there's instances where it would actually genuinely be useful, like resizing rugs to a particular size or resizing particular items to a particular size, where, you know, the options for resizing in the game are, you know, this, and this, and that's it. Whereas with tool, you can kind of make it, you know, to the perfect size. And also with lowering and raising plants. Anyway, just having a think about it. It's like, I should probably play around with it more. But anyway, time. So we're coming into the last parts of the exterior of the build. And, you know, it's a decent sized library. Like, it's not massive, but I feel like it's a decent size. I did put a little fairy home up the top. Now, initially I was going to do like ladders to get up to the top, but they were just kind of sitting in the middle of the, you know, of the room, of the level, and I don't know, they were just kind of annoying where they were sitting. So I was like, you know what? Fairies can fly. So if I put a little, you know, fairy home up on the top level, they can just fly there. I mean, they're technically the only ones that are going to be using the fairy home anyway, right? So they can just fly there. Why not? I was initially thinking of doing the the red mushrooms. I call them toadstools, but they are mushrooms. I don't know. Just I had them as toadstools in my head. But I was initially thinking of doing the red, but then it seemed like way too much red. So I decided to counterpoint the red on the roofs with the blue and the mushrooms. Blues, and I did bring in a few greens as well, and like the green mossy rocks and the little bits of greenery around the place as well. Got a wiggly woggly path going in there, and we'll build around that with the landscaping. I love these these low-lying bushes that you have that have like a little bit of a curve to them, and they're really good for sculpting around paths. So if you are looking for ways to make like those wiggly woggly paths without going into using, you know, your curved platforms and stuff, just using terrain paint and using particular plants to curve around the paths does actually create the shape for you, which is quite nice. You know, a little bit more of a natural look to it. But you can sort of see here, those little mushrooms will glow at night. It's going to look cute at nighttime. And I did light it all up around the place. So, you know, it should be good for visiting nighttime and daytime. So as I said, you might want to go out on a little library date, which would be really cute. I got a swing in there, and also put another fairy home down on the bottom level in this back garden, little tiny back garden area. So there's, you know, a little activity for the, I guess it's not just the kids, but, you know, activity out there with the swing. So, you know, if you want to, again, if you're doing the date thing, maybe you can ask someone to push you on the swing. It'll be sweet and romantic. Or you're just there for fun, and then it can just be fun rather than sweet and romantic. But yeah, I think that's just about the exterior done. Just a few more plants going in there, and then we'll head onto the interior. Oh yeah, needed some signs too. So I did want to make sure that I ticked every box as far as making it a functioning library lot. So making sure that I get like my chess sets in there, my bookcases, my desks and computers and all that sort of thing. And I know, yeah, like in a screen, as far as I'm aware, in that world, there's not actually any lots with computers, which does make sense because it's not really a high-tech kind of area, but also you need computers for doing a lot of things in the game. So having some computers somewhere in the world is actually quite useful, I feel. So I did make sure that I put some computers in here for use, for use, so you can come in here and do bits and pieces. We've got some chairs here. These are designed just as a little reading area, which I think is going to be very useful. Oh, this is the lights going in here. I don't always remember, like sometimes I'll start on the interior and then I'll remember about the exterior lighting. Sometimes I jump around back and forth just as I remember things, as you do. But, I think it has a nice glow to it at night time, so you can get around and the Sims can have some, fun at all hours, which is ideal. I feel like that's a good thing. So think I'm just about ready to move on the inside. I'm just fixing up the ivy on the exterior so it doesn't stick up between floors. I do find if you're not careful with how you place the ivy, it does do that. So I'm just in the habit these days of actually checking that. So when you do flick between the floors, like first and second floor, you haven't got like ivy just sort of sticking up randomly on the side and yeah, looking a little bit strange. So yeah, I am conscious of just checking that and making sure that you don't have that sticky outy kind of thing. So I did raise up the platform in our sunroom reading nook area. So this is what that is. So I had to obviously fix that up with the door as well. So you didn't have like a weird step up into the door. It actually felt like, a little bit more organic. So this is going into, as I said, the sunroom reading room, which I wanted to have like some nice comfy couches and some chairs and like a coffee table and like, yeah, just like a really nice, warm, lovely place to read some books, because I feel like that would make you want to spend some time at the library. Like it's just this beautiful sunny nook and you're like, oh, this is lovely. So I used the beautiful tree wallpaper that came with the Enchanted by Nature pack. I thought it just, it brought the outside inside, and I thought it looked cool. So that's what I did. Pretty simple. I thought it looked cool, so I did it. And yeah, so downstairs I will come back to in a minute, but upstairs we've kind of got a kids reading area, the bathroom, and also just a little bit more sort of the desks, computers, and adult reading nook as well. So in the bathroom, now what did I do in the bathroom? I think there was a couple of toilets, sort of like enclosed like little bathrooms within the bathrooms, if that makes sense. So I've done like a larger bathroom, so you can kind of go in there and wash your hands and have a drink of water if you need to, and then if you do need to do some business, get your business on, then you can sort of go into one of the extra rooms and you can do your business. So one of the rooms has the freestanding mirror with the toilet and the basin, and then this one just has the toilet and the basin, I believe. It is a little frustrating that we didn't get any slots on the top of the sink. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I think because when I'm sure they gather my thoughts. So when they updated the sinks in the game so that they would have slots on there for things like the hand soap and the toothbrushes, I'm sure that was around the time that Lovestruck came out. I'm pretty sure. It's around about then. And I think ever since then, the packs that have released since Lovestruck, which is Life and Death, Businesses and Hobbies, and now Enchanted by Nature, ever since that pack, they actually haven't continued on with the sink slots, if you get what I mean. So like the sinks that we've gotten with those packs, they haven't had the slots on them to allow you to place the hand soaps and the and the toothpaste and what have you. So yeah, it's quite odd. Like they did this whole big update with it, and then they just haven't continued on with doing the slots as they do the packs. So it's kind of, a little weird now that I think about it. Like, why didn't they just make sure that they add those slots to all of the sinks as they put them out? I would think that would be less work than having to go back and fix it, which they may or may not do, to be fair. But they should, because, I mean, there was a reason that they did it in the first place, is because it should have like little slots on there for, your small bathroom items to go on. So, intriguing. Anyway, this is like the kids area, bathroom, and adult little sort of study area up on the top floor. And then down on the bottom floor, I just left that little triangle empty. It was pretty I wasn't going to use it for anything. And then, so we've got our sun nook, which we've already done. And then you sort of come into the building, and I'm going to do like some bookshelves and bits and pieces there. And then off to the side, round towards the back of the building, I did all of some more of the desks, basically. So I think there's 3 desks around there and a little bit more seating. And I think I put another chess table in through the middle too. So yeah, there should be like plenty of space to get your study on, do your skill building, reading, or whatever you want to do there. Should be plenty of space for it. I did playtest it as well, so it was all functional from what I could tell. Just a light playtest, but it was all functional. You could sit in all the seats. You could read books there. I mean, the Sims looked pretty happy running around and, you know, having some fun in the library. So, yeah, I feel like it's family friendly. There's all sorts of things to do for kids as well as the adults. So, I think it turned out pretty good. I also was a little bit concerned about these trees sticking through the roof because, you know, can you see on a short wall they're just like that little bit too high. And so I was like flicking up and down quite a lot because I was convinced that the trees should be showing through the ceiling, but I couldn't see that they were except for one. For some reason, there was one that stuck through the ceiling and the rest didn't, and I don't know why. I don't know. I don't understand it. But anyway, it's one of those weird things. Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys 2 tours. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!